apparently OBS is doing some dumb stuff, trying to ruin their reputation. I've been looking for a competitor to OBS for a long time. What's that one new one? It's called Meld or something like that. I might check that out. OBS COO shuts down Rumble request and woke mind virus takeover. Okay, what? This is weird. I don't really like Rumble that much. I used to post there. I haven't paid for premium. I just wasn't getting any views at all. And it was mostly bots. And I'd get bots in the comments way more than I get bots on YouTube. Enough about Rumble, let's talk about OBS.
This comes to us from the London Journal. Breaking news. OBS Studio, the open source, which is a very key word in all of this, by the way. Open source video streaming software.
Open source, it means that somebody can take it and make their own thing.
Refuses to add Rumble to their list of default streaming options because, as the OBS COO Joel Benke put it,
wait, hold up. Isn't OnlyFans on OBS? Isn't that a default option?
they host hateful and racist content, and we want nothing to do with their platform.
Excuse me? That's retarded. There may be hateful and racist content on Rumble, but there is on YouTube also. There is everywhere. But that's not the stuff that gets views on Rumble. It sounds to me like, oh, they're right wing, so they don't agree with me? Banned. Wrong think.
Oh no. So this is a prime example of silencing someone's speech because you don't like what they have to say.
True. On an open source platform. Are you shitting me? Like, I feel like maybe this is one dumb decision that is going to lead to a trickle-down effect and also lead to more dumb decisions. The trickle-down effect is going to cause more of the woke mind virus to persist.
Now, if OBS was not open source, I'd be like, damn, that sucks. That's crazy. But okay, I guess they can do it. OBS project is open source, though. So that's where I have a major issue with this. The OBS project is also actively deleting messages requesting Rumble support. Worth noting, OBS provides...
Looks like I'm going to be switching from OBS. Hopefully there's a new version of it from somebody else, or I'm just going to be switching off of OBS altogether. I already kind of don't like it. I've been looking for something to switch to for a long time.
Out-of-the-box support for live streaming to on-site OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, says it right there. Yeah, they totally do.
Any comment on this OBS project? Why does OBS proudly promote pornography? And
because all these people are obsessed with identity and sex. They're sexual degenerates. They're sexual deviants. They're in a cult. And if you're not part of their weird sex cult, then you're banned. That's how it is in all of these places with all these people. Are you fucking serious?
the exploitation of, whoa. Let's not talk about pornography as exploitation of women. All right, jeez. I can't stand when people do that with porn.
No, it's exploitation of everyone. Exploitation of our natural desire to have sex. That's what that is.
It's like, if women want to do porn, they're welcome to do that. It's not exploiting them.
It is, though. But it's also exploiting the men and also the people who are watching it.
They have the choice.
Even Alyssa admits that sex work is work, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Even Alyssa, if Alyssa agrees with us, then you know we're in the right here.
Right. I mean, there are very few things I agree with Alyssa Mercante on. That is one of the very few that...
I'm gonna have to disagree with this one and actually push even harder in the other direction. That all around, it's bad if you're involved in it and it's bad if you watch it.
Both of us are very sex positive people. But refuses to support platforms which promote free speech, which is where I have an issue with this, because now we have an external source trying to police what's okay to say and what's not okay to say on an external site that has nothing to do with what they do.
With an app that is open source for everyone to use, and they're going to start dictating the speech around the platform. I could see them going to proprietary software, and then they're just gonna start banning people from using it, where you gotta like sign into OBS. I could see that.
This is insane. OBS Studio ideas and suggestions. Why isn't Rumble listed under the services dropdown? Declined from Joel Beltke. Rumble has not provided anything, and even if they did, they host hateful and racist content, and we want nothing to do with their platform.
Every company that has anything to do with DEI ends up being complete shit, being broken, becoming broken, bugs galore, because incompetent people get hired over people with merit because the people with merit are problematic, when really all they are is in the way of the cult, of the mind virus infecting everything.
They wrote it in a response. That's insane. Thoughts on this, Master TDS?
I mean, I have my own opinions on Rumble in general. I'm not going to get into that, but
I'll get into them real quick. The platform's kind of trash. It's mostly news and political stuff. Their streaming is better now than it was, but it's still trash. That's why I quit streaming, was because Rumble was trash, and I was like, I don't want to stream at all now. I will get back to streaming, but I'm not going to be on Rumble or Kick or Twitch or anything. I'm probably just going to stream on YouTube.
kind of weird that you would just kind of, I mean, I find it weird that companies will kind of shoot themselves in the foot for no reason. Like, you could have just not responded to this.
Yeah, everybody keeps doing this. All these companies keep doing it. Like Randy Pitchford talking about Borderlands 4. He should have just kept his mouth shut about it being $80. This situation, the person at OBS should have just kept their mouth shut. Rachel Zegler should have kept her mouth shut. Just keep your fucking mouth shut. If you're not doing a political thing, don't be political.
My point, like,
you literally had to go out of your way to be mean and be like, we hate them. It's like, but you could just ignore them if you don't like them.
Yeah, Rumble's the problem. Rumble's problematic. It's mean and hateful, and then they're the ones being mean and hateful every fucking time.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I forgot. We can't say that because ignoring people if they don't like them. There's some people like to turn that argument around on us sometimes and say, oh, if you don't like something, ignore it. But like, this is a different situation. This is like, this literally did not have to be meaning. He could have just said, Rumble has not provided anything and we're not interested in working with them. Like, that would have been even better. I mean, it still would have gotten coverage, but you know.
Right. But by saying this, this is not going to reflect well on OBS.
Yep, now people are going to be searching for another platform to be using. And there are some popping up. Like, I'm pretty sure it's called Meld. Is it called Meld? Leave down there in the comments if you know anything else besides OBS that's like OBS. Even if it's, like, not free. Even if I have to pay for it.
By the way, for the broader audience, like, I would like to think most people, tell me if I'm wrong here, most people would agree that freedom of speech is something that should be allowed. Now, you might not agree with what people have to say, but they should have the right.
I think freedom of speech should be allowed in general, but for like small platforms, small audiences, you know, you can change a little bit so you can curate who you want to be part of your thing that you're building or that you built. But OBS is something that everyone uses. So it's a service at this point, like the internet, you know, basically. Everybody uses it.
To say it. If they're threatening, doxing, putting your world at some sort of risk, if they're hosting like terrorism stuff, like if it's clearly extremism, and I feel like people have tried to manipulate the word extremism to make it.
Well, I mean, like if somebody's using OBS to stream like Terry's, like them doing Terry stuff, you know what Terry's are. I still don't think that should be up to OBS to ban that. That should be up to whatever platform they're using OBS on, like YouTube, Rumble, whatever. They should be the ones banning.
Fly with right-wing extremists and stuff. It's like, no, don't water down the word extremists, because extremists are extremists. That's not a word you can take. That one is one of those, like, if there's extremist stuff, I totally get curbing it, but just saying they host hateful and racist content. So I have a question for this Joel Bethke guy. Would he like the Rumble CEO to give him a call anytime someone uploads a video and be like, hey, bro, we got a video uploaded here. You got a chance to watch it. Let me know if it's okay to post or not.
I would be more interested for Joel to answer. So you say that they host hateful and racist content. I would like to know what the standards are for hateful and racist content in your eyes.
Mhm.
And also, I would like some
Just anything that they disagree with, you know? Like, as long as it's hateful and racist towards people that they're hateful and racist against, then it's fine.
receipts of this hateful and racist content. I find it so weird that people will just make claims and be like, it's true because I said so. And it's like, yes, I'm sure. Let's be honest, Smash.
Mhm.
YouTube has probably hateful or racist content on it.
1,000,000% does.
What about Twitch? Yeah, you can stream directly to Twitch. What about that? Hassan Piker and things. Or, you know, somebody they disagree with, Asmongold.
So it's like,
you can't-
where's the receipts of this?
You can't. That's the problem, is if you ask for receipts, they'll probably be able to provide it, because that's the thing. With a massive platform, there's going to be stuff that gets through the cracks, and people will always find it before it gets taken down and be like, see right here. It's like, well, yeah, but the platform is.
And also, Rumble just hosts content even if they disagree with it. You can be a leftist on Rumble. Probably going to get a lot of hate because of the people that are on the platform, not exactly the creators, like the people who are commenting. But, you know, I get a lot of hate on YouTube. I don't really give a fuck.
I don't mean to be making excuses for YouTube and Rumble and Twitch. The platform is too big to be perfect.
Yes.
This is DuckDuckGo. Joel Bethke, Rumble has not provided. And it says right here, why isn't Rumble listed under the services dropdown? Rumble.
Because OBS CEO and COO are racist. They're actually the ones who are racist.
Does not provide anything. If they did, it's right here, showing up here. That is insane to me.
Yeah, from now on, like, if you are calling people like me racist, people who I like racist, or platforms that I like racist, you're racist. You are the one who is racist. I probably said that word too many times for the algorithm to push this video. Great. I'm not censoring it.
Page not found. Wait, did they take it down? They deleted their comment.
Well, of
After
course
it's
they
over.
did, because they probably got called out for it.
Wow. Wow. And yeah, once you start, this is the funniest part about it. Once you start drawing lines, you automatically immediately become a hypocrite, because then they're like, okay, why you got pornography?
Or Twitch, you know, they actually host pro Terry content.
Why you gotta link to pornography? What? So that's okay in your eyes? It's like, you can't start drawing lines on this stuff. Let the law draw the lines on stuff. Don't try to be the internet police, because when you're the internet police, people will call you a hypocrite. You can't do that. And we have another post here by Lumpy Potato. It says, if your support forums, the user requested, and they responded with this, and it's the same thing. Remove post.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're clarifying that they actually removed it.
Yep, here it is. Remove post. This is insane to me. This is insane to me. Sounds like they aren't as open source as they proclaim to be.
Ooh, someone makes a really good point below that, but go ahead, sorry.
Allowing personal politics to get in the way is limiting and shows they don't follow what to preach. Bro, doesn't Twitch have Hamas Diddy Piker who hosts hateful content?
Yeah, that's what I was
Great
saying. Like,
point.
That's what I've been saying. Like, man, you can't be saying that, because then you're going to have to be removing platforms like Twitch. I had to make sure that Kick wasn't on there. Kick's not on there. So I'll give them that.
that's like,
Great
which
point.
is even worse.
That is, I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Like,
why is it
Put
okay for Hassan?
aside Hassan for a second.
Okay.
If we're gonna compare Twitch and YouTube, which is worse? That's a good question.
Oh my God, Twitch instantly.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
but Twitch is fine. YouTube, if we're gonna compare it to Rumble, is much much not. I can't even think of Rumble and Twitch in the same, I guess, frame of mind.
I agree. Everyone in the chat saying the law bends to money, you know, advertisers are the internet police. And I agree, by the way. And I feel like that's kind of like capitalism in a nutshell. That's fine. But if you're an open source software and you're saying, yeah, we're not going to connect to this one and we're not.
Yeah, they're just doing this one because of ideology, not because of advertise or anything, because they know people have to use this because they effectively have a monopoly on the video streaming software. Everybody uses it. They don't have to advertise, so they don't. And it's a free app that you can get on pretty much anything. So this is just woke cult mind virus shit.
Not even going to try to bother working on it because we don't agree with what they do. It's like, that's not what OBS and open source is supposed to stand for. I wonder if there's going to be a statement from OBS apologizing tomorrow and working on.
They probably will. I would imagine that if it gets to the backlash.
Because of this, they might end up putting Rumble on the platform. And if they do, I might start using Rumble. And it's completely going to backfire. Completely going to blow up in the OBS COO's face.
Gets too big, they probably will have to say something. But honestly, even if they do we believe them at this point? Clearly not.
No, I don't believe any of these people. They're all racist weirdos. Obsessed with sex and ideology and identity.
Well, no, I mean, the damage is done with this, but they could try to make inroads and make it good with an apology and setting up a connection for it.
Yeah, I don't think an apology is going to work. They are going to have to set up a connection.
And saying yes.
That's the thing. I think if we'll get an apology, I don't think they're going to set up a connection for it. They clearly have a bias against it.
They have to. I think they have to. Or people are going to use OBS for now because that's the only thing. But as soon as another one comes along that's almost as good, just as good, or better, OBS is out. Especially if they keep making these weird decisions that undoubtedly going to lead to bugs. It's going to break the software because they're going to be hiring weirdos and they're getting rid of all the problematic people, all the people they disagree with politically, and we're going to get trash.
Already. And again, it's become this like common thing now where people are just like, I need to, not only do I not want this, I have to make sure that you know that I don't want this. And it's like, look, if this was just an employee.
He says OBS reputation isn't going to come back from this. I don't think most people care, actually. I don't think people care about this. I think this just is a statement on how OBS is currently run and what it's going to look like in the future. And it's most definitely going to run into issues. And people are going to be jumping off.
Employee or something at like, let's say this was an employee at OBS, but wasn't like, you know, whatever. Okay, that's not really nice, but like, it's
but
their
they can
opinion.
fire that employee. They can take.
Yeah, but this is not just like, come on.
Yeah, it's ingrained into their culture.
This is the COO. This is the guy.
Exactly. It's like, when did it become this thing where people involved with companies are just going to go out and be like, we have to make a public statement on why we dislike this? It's like,
I think somebody got into the company that hates creators and wants OBS to be destroyed because everybody uses it, including the right-wing creators. I think that's what happened.
Like, or you could just not say anything.
Yeah, I think it was done on purpose to destroy the reputation on purpose.
They're getting lit up in the chat. Another good open source project infected with leftism. You. This is a clear statement of someone that has been infected with the woke mind virus, where they can't think straight. So they're trying to push their agenda instead of push their product, which is in stark contrast to what you're supposed to be in business for, unless, of course, you are a communist or a Marxist, which when you start seeing people go down this road, it's like, oh, you're not prioritizing your product anymore. You're prioritizing a message.
Yeah, and then a competitor's going to explode. They're going to blow up and take over, and nobody's going to be using OBS anymore. I think that's probably what the future is going to look like. OBS is going to be a thing of the past. What are some applications that everybody used to use that are no longer getting used. Fraps, that's probably one of them. I used Fraps back in the day.
And that's where I have a huge issue with it. Any final thoughts before I go to the supers talking about this?
I was gonna say that I have my own opinions on Rumble and kind of whatever. Obviously, people have asked me about it before, and said like, hey, what are your why aren't you on Rumble? Whatever. I have my own opinions, but this.
Oh man, Rumble might release their own open source app because their video streaming service, their web-based streaming service thing that's like OBS, is actually pretty good. Not as many features, not as customizable. Can't really put any plugins into it. But if they release an open source software, oh, Rumble, they need to do that. Then everybody will be using Rumble. That is such a good idea.
This is just stupid. And the fact that they deleted it, again, people seem to get this idea that, oh, we'll just delete it and we can pretend it doesn't exist. Like, you can't do that anymore. Like, it's never a thing.
Now people know what your mindset is. So deleting it doesn't do anything. It's like,
deleting it is an admission of guilt. You literally admitted that you are guilty. So honestly, I would have actually given them a little more props. I wouldn't have been okay with it, but like I would have given them a little more props if they have just left it up.
Yeah, but they probably were getting.
Yeah, I know why they had to delete it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I would have given them more props if they went like at least if you're gonna do this, own it. But they couldn't even own it.
This is what is concerning about all of it: is step away from Rumble for a second and think about how you.
Yeah, they're a bunch of pussies. People in the company that they hired, probably on DEI hires, got in and pressured choices like this to happen. But then when you get out into the public eye, people aren't actually like that. Normal people aren't part of the Rainbow Brigade. They aren't part of the Skittles cult. So they will eat you alive.
YouTube used to be horrendous during the apocalypse between demonetization, flagging videos, taking everything down. Like it was horrible. And then copyright claims on literally everything on.
I'm glad that I missed that. I came into YouTube right after that, right before it and right after it.
On top of that, it was a complete shit show. I don't know if you were around during that.
Oh, I was around. I was around. I wasn't on YouTube, but I was around.
It was a complete shit show. And I'm looking at this situation like, okay, so now the COO doesn't like Rumble because it allows hateful and racist content. So what if, let me pose this question to this Joel Bethke.
They are actually just saying that, oh, we don't support free speech. That's what they're saying with that. They're communist.
What if YouTube puts a new CE?
Actually, I don't even think they're communists. I think they're too stupid to realize that they're stupid. They think communism is the way. They think Marxism is the way. But I don't even think they're smart enough to understand that. All they hear is, oh, community. I'm in a community. We need more community.
CEO in charge. And they're like, hey, we're going to compete directly against Rumble, and we're going to allow a lot more stuff on our platform. And they don't actually verbalize it. It just naturally happens.
Yeah, Rumble is turning into a competitor to OBS very quickly. And I do hope that they release some software, because I might switch to it, man.
Would this guy be like, yeah, we're also not integrating with YouTube, the biggest platform in the world?
No, he wouldn't, because it would be money.
Exactly. Money talks, and they look at Rumble as, yeah, we're doing fine without you. We don't need you, which is an issue when that stuff starts to happen, because then it becomes just as much about the ideology as it does, oh, it's a big enough platform, so we'll bend to your will and work with you.
Yep. Not good. They're losing their grip. They're losing their grip on their monopoly. What are they doing? So insane, man.
There's so many issues I have with all of this. God, this is frustrating. They're gonna get roasted tomorrow. Holy crap. And in the foreseeable future too. The problem with OBS, what's that? And rightfully so.
Rightfully so. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, look, I don't like I mean, obviously they shouldn't have done this. Like, know better. Come on. And I also want to clarify one thing that I think is important to clarify here. This guy can have whatever opinion of Rumble he wants to have, but like, you do not have to make it public in this way. You do not have to.
Well, he's retarded. He didn't know that he could just stay quiet.
There is zero reason. You are only hurting yourself doing this. You think this like taking a stand and being like, look at me, we're against hate. And it's like, okay, but you are with Twitch, you're with YouTube, you're with all these other places that people would say, hey, are more hateful than Rumble. And not only did you make a statement about it, you did it in like a huge way, like really public in front of everybody.
Yep. And you know what happens when they make this statement?
They lose money.
Well, no, not just lose money, but inevitably, anytime this happens historically, when someone does something stupid like this and they're the only game in town, that's when people break off, create their own open source, and do their own project. And then they have a competitor, and then they're going to be fighting against someone else that's doing this too eventually.
They already have some small-time competitors. With Meld, I've been seeing a lot of videos about it popping up in my YouTube feed, saying this could replace OBS. And from what I've seen, it looks better than OBS. Doesn't have as many features. Some of the features are easier to use, some of them are more difficult, but they're gonna iron that out. Maybe not that one, but maybe another one might come up and replace OBS. Maybe Rumble will replace OBS if they release a software that's not like web-based.
Because you can't start doing this.
What a world.
And OBS is such great software. Like, I am so happy with how OBS works.
I'm not. I mean, like, it works better than everything else, but there are some things that I really want to work that just don't.
Me too. I'm using it right now. It enables me to do what I could do right now.
Yep. Like, I don't know how YouTube would function without it, to be honest. Like, sure, you could, but it would be a shit show compared to what it is right now. So
I remember.
I think everybody will just switch to the other, like, 3 platforms that are doing the exact same thing and maybe not as good as OBS, but it's not going to make everything look like garbage. People aren't really going to freak out. They're just going to switch. It'd be easy. And then if more people switch, the more plugins we'll get.
All the way back. Like, is XSplit still around?
XSplits, maybe. I remember hearing about it, but I never used it.
I think it is. I think I saw a video about it when I was looking up OBS alternatives.
I remember trying to stream like 8 years ago, and it was like a nightmare. So we've come a long way.
Kyle Barr makes a good point. It says Smash being open source, it means that someone can come along, use their code, make software that will include Rumble, and everyone will go there.
Yep.
Wow.
They basically just created, if they have not already, they've created their own competition.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to get across with what happens when you do this. They will create their own competition. Especially open source. You can just make a carbon copy of what it is and then add Rumble and then create your own product.
Yeah, and just slap a cooler name on it.
Oh my God. That is...
Yeah, call it something like Obstacle. Obstacle would be funny because it has OBS in the name, but it's not OBS.
Frustrating. Bulk Squat Thrust for the 5-banger. Open source projects are infected top to bottom with leftists. It's awful. Lunduk covers it well. Yeah, I do like Lunduk Journal. It's a
I might have to check that out.
good channel. You familiar with them?
Not really.
No.
I'll be honest. I probably have heard of them. I try to keep up with up to date with every channel, with all the channels, but I'm not perfect.
This is the Lunduk Journal.
Oh,
here.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yes. I've seen them around. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, they're going to show me instead. I get to check it out before I get to check it out.
But yes, it's happening quite a bit to a lot of open source stuff, I've noticed. Yeah.
It's funnier when it happens to open source stuff because it's like you do this, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, that's why I think that somebody got into the company and wanted to destroy it on purpose.
But if you're closed source, at least it's like, okay.
I mean, welcome to the leftist mentality where they don't look beyond their own undoing.
Yeah, I think that they're literally destroying it on purpose. Like, there's no other way I can look at it other than the fact that maybe they're just incredibly stupid, which is also a possibility. It's like 50-50 for me on the chances.
John Coleman for the 5. OBS source code should be open source. Just take an old version of it with Rumble and make a couple of copies or put your own version of it out there. That I feel like that's going to be what starts happening. Is there's going to be another, like we said, another company that just does it.
I'll be watching for the Flatpak. Because I'm on Linux. I use the FlatHub for all of my apps. And as soon as something else pops up on FlatHub, I'm downloading it and I'm going to try it out.
And it's just open source on their website, and that's going to take off.
It's already been done.
Are you serious? Someone already did it.
Caesar on Twitter tagged us. He just made it.
He just made it? He just did it?
You can go see. He just made.
Well, I know what I'm probably going to be downloading.
A version that OBS Rumble Pack is available.
Create a new fork, OBS Rumble.
And then it's right below. It's Caesar OBS Rumble Pack.
Caesar already did. Damn, bro.
That didn't take long at all.
You did that in literally like 10 minutes.
That's awesome.
That is amazing. That is, dude, props to you. Holy crap. That is
Caesar's awesome.
impressive. Damn, bro. Wow.
Yep, well, I'm going to have to look into that. I'm probably going to have to download that.
Very cool.
Just cuz. I'm not even going to use it. I'm just going to see if I can download it and see if it works.
Very cool. There you
I
go.
give Caesar a follow. I've been meaning to do that. So, I'm terrible. I forget about following sometimes.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
No, I'll follow somebody and then I'll notice later that I unfollowed like Packer Girl and me have the biggest problem. I cannot stay following her. I don't know why.
I don't know what the deal is with her account, but she is shadow banned and never shows up in searches, and you have to type out her name perfectly for it to show up when
I have where I literally was unfollowed again. I went to go follow her back just now and I clicked follow and it immediately unfollowed me.
Wow.
I had to click it twice.
That is weird.
Dude, the internet's falling apart. Actually, I don't think it's falling apart. I think it's branching out. I think eventually it's just going to be so oversaturated with so much garbage that it's going to be unusable. Like Cyberpunk 2077, they had to like close down the internet because AI took over and just made everything weird, made everything not work anymore. And I think that's the future we're headed toward. Hopefully I can find a better version of OBS. I don't have to use OBS at all. Something like Meld or something like Rumble that's like an app. I don't want to be using web-based stuff. What do you think about this whole OBS thing? Are you using OBS? Are you going to be using OBS in the future? Do you got anything else that I could use besides OBS that I could try out? That'd be awesome. Buy a t-shirt down there in the description. They're my own designs. I'm out.